everybody, and welcome back to the farm. It has been such a long time. I think it's been almost 6 months since I have been on here. I'm really probably only going to pop on here when I really think that I have something really important to talk about. So today we're going to talk about what chickens actually cost. And if you've been sticking around for a while now, you know that 2 years ago I made a video that says what chickens actually cost. But I was just talking about feed, and I just really feel like that video gave the wrong impression. Alright, so what do chickens cost? Let's start with the absolute basics. You're going to have someone somewhere for them to stay. So on our farm we have tons of different kinds of coops that we have built over the years. We started with building like the ones that I'm in. We built a barn that holds hay and other things that we need for the farm, and then we built awnings off both sides, and then we built what we call the front of house coop, and it's beautiful, and I painted it, and we put really beautiful hardware. If you were to build coops today, it would set you back $500 to $1,200 really easy. I was looking online. If you want custom coops, not built by yourself, it's going to cost you anywhere from $3,000 to like $15,000. It's got them right here. You've got feeders, you've got waterers. If you decide to buy chicks, these lovely little things are sold separately. That's gonna cost money. So it just begins to add up. Then I've got these big feeders, these 40-pound feeders right here. We actually have one of these in every single one of the coops, I believe. So we put new Texas cedar mulch down 3 to 4 times a year, just depending on how wet it is, and it really does keep everything really clean. And then of course we've got flake shavings inside all of the coops. That has to be redone kind of all the time. So that's all of the just taking care of your chickens part. But let's say you want to hatch them out, okay, like we do as breeders. But even if you just want to keep chickens at home, the whole hatching process is really fun. My favorite small incubator are the Matacoop, and they run you about $130 a piece. They are much cheaper than the ones that they sell at Tractor Supply that I don't think work as well. So that's just my opinion. Then, of course, if you want to really go all in, I know a lot of breeders that have cabinet incubators. Those are going to run you anywhere from $800 to $1,200. Another inevitable expense of chickens is going to be the fact that they are not going to be well all the time. So one of the very first and largest expenses that hopefully you only have to buy once every now and then is a Lecter PSP. Now, if you just have a tiny flock, please find someone like me that owns 9 coops of chickens and has already paid the almost $200 price tag. Lately, because of this lovely, fantastic wet weather we've been having here in Texas, and the temperatures are like really, really high one day and then it's freezing the next week, upper respiratory infections, which we've never had in our flocks, has actually become a pretty big problem. I highly suggest TiaGuard. It's not that expensive. Dewormer is another one during the summertime that we often have to do. I've already had to deworm my Wyandottes. Guys, it feels like we've had everything. I also have occasionally had a bird injured by a rooster recently. LA200. Of course, you can't buy this on the shelves anymore, so you have to go to a veterinarian and pay $40 for that consultation, which I do not begrudge. We have the best vet in town. So, we've got that. If you've got chicks, you're probably going to end up with some kind of probiotic. Again, none of this is expensive by itself, except for the Lecter. But just, it's all together. There's just so many things that breeders do to try to care for their chickens. And people just don't understand. People just don't understand how much work it is. And let's pretend that my knowledge and expertise and energy and time put into this hobby cost nothing. Checking fertility, turning the eggs, custom egg cartons, custom logo stamps, stickers, none of it is free. So, unlike hatcheries, we are always striving for the standard of perfection, which means we bought the $45 book. We've been going to shows and getting feedback from judges. Every time we go to a poultry show, it costs at least a couple $100 just because of, well, not really including travel, but just the entry fees and the things that we've bought that were absolutely necessary to get our birds ready. It's kind of expensive. It's not super terrible as opposed to like showing cattle or anything, so I hate to even complain about the cost of showing poultry, because honestly, if you want your children or you want to show something, poultry is the way to go, because it is actually a lot cheaper than showing some of the other things. But it's still a cost that I like to mention. Just all of those things that we have done, or that all quality breeders do, to try to provide a better product than hatcheries are that are just going for quantity over quality. We make really small hatches and we only keep the absolute best. That's why I don't really have that many hens in each coop, because I only want to keep them if they are absolutely what I want to continue my lines. So I hope this video has helped you to kind of brainstorm and think about whether or not owning chickens would be something worth it to you. I think more importantly, breeding them is really expensive. Owning them it can get expensive if you have some of the problems that are kind of inevitable for chicken owners, but it is definitely a bigger problem once you start, if you own as many as we do. People always ask me, am I worried about selling to potentially my competition? Like, are people going to buy my beautiful birds and then go home and start breeding them and selling them just like I do, and then I cause myself more competition for customers? The short answer is always no. I'm not worried about competition, because I think it is so much more effort and work and money than anyone ever expects when they get started. So the odds of someone remaining poultry breeders, unless they just really love the hobby, you're very unlikely to do this. So with that in mind, I hope this does not discourage you, but it is important that you know what you're getting into. Until next time, I hope to see you right here on the farm. Bye!